Hello, all. So, I heard that you want to create a culturally responsive learning environment. I have 6 ways that you could do that. 6 ways in which you can create a culturally responsive learning environment. Number 1, create equitable and fluid group roles. Group roles are significant because it gives students the opportunity to impact the intellectual life of your classroom. Number 2, greet every learner at your classroom door. This is significant because you want to make students understand that you see them. And seeing them is as basic as saying good morning or good afternoon. To really go over the edge with this one, create secret handshakes or special ways in which you say hello to your students. If your lesson has started and students are at your door, you open the door, you greet them and let them know what they're up to or what you're up to for the moment. This is super important, again, because you get to see your students, and being acknowledged is like the most amazing thing ever. Number 3, leverage student strengths. In order to find out what your students are good at, you observe them, all right? If you have a culture at your school where adults speak with integrity about their children, then you ask an adult, tell me about this student's strengths. You could also ask your students what they're really good at and what they really enjoy, and leverage those in your lesson planning. If you know that one of your students enjoy handing out things, helping, then find many jobs for them, such as group roles, to support them in showing you their strengths and sharing their strengths with the classroom. Number 4, always create opportunities for student-to-student discussions. If your classroom is teacher-centered, all the learning resides with you. That is the message. But if you create opportunities for students to have discussions with their peers, again, they're contributing to the intellectual life of the classroom in a very meaningful and thoughtful way. Please be sure to plan those discussions appropriately with guided questions so that you actually have rich student-to-student discussions and students are discussing meaningfully, not just like, how's your day going? While that may be important, you want to make sure that discussions span not only socio-emotional aspects of your classroom or lesson, but also the academic aspects as well. Number 5, institute clear expectations. All right, both academic and behavioral. Students thrive. I'm going to say that again. Students thrive on predictability, right? Knowing exactly what's going to happen when they walk into classrooms, knowing exactly what they need to do in order to demonstrate excellence. And so you want to set that up by planning out exactly what you want students to do, how you want students to behave, how do you want students to contribute to the intellectual environment that you're building with them, all right? You want to make sure that you want to ask students as well, what are those expectations? If I say that we're discussing on-topic conversations or we're discussing something focused on whatever, what are some of the expectations? Have students help you create those expectations and live by them. Provide student choice in your lessons. Student choice is so important because there are many adults, especially if you teach 6 to 12th graders, all right, anywhere in that category, because they love to negotiate. And so when you give students choice, it's empowering because they feel like they have a say in how they choose to learn or how they choose to demonstrate to you that they're learning something. So whatever it is that you are doing or planning with your students, for your students, align with your state standards and school expectations, please include student choice. All right, these are just 6 ways, my most popular 6 ways, that you can create a culturally responsive learning environment for the young people you teach. So let's recap. You want to create a culturally responsive learning environment focused on classroom management. These are the 6 ways in which you could do this. Create equitable and fluid group roles. Group roles are very important. Greet every learner at your classroom door. Students being seen is very, very important. As a matter of fact, if you ever go shopping in person, you know why the greeter is very important. Acknowledging your learners, even if they come in late, is very, very important, and it will help to create a classroom environment that there's classroom management and students feel safe in the space. Leverage student strengths. Very, very important, right? You want to know what your students are good at so you can leverage that every single day. Always create opportunities for student-to-student discussion. Students must be talking to each other. Not only is it culturally responsive, but it speaks to constructivism, which is super important in educating young children. And lastly, institute clear expectations. That's actually second to last. Institute clear expectations. Students need to know what they're doing, what is the expectation, how to do it, and why they're doing these things. All right. Make sure that that is clear in your lesson plan. And lastly, provide student choice in your lessons every single day in more than one section of your lesson. So that includes a do now, that includes your mini lesson, that includes the work period, and that even includes a summary. Subscribe to find out how you could do this and how does this show up in your actual planning and the implementation of your planning. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.